album image edit from me today. I'm getting a bit obsessed with these. So this one has a few little things to tweak. It's more simple. I kept it more classic. It's a bit Lana Del Rey classic style. I've got a few things because I did the hair. So there's a few hairs to neaten. This was like thrown in last minute to the shoot. It was not a plan. We didn't mean to do this. So I actually just threw it together. The background is actually one massive softbox that I put a gel inside. I've got an overhead light. I've got a blue light coming from one side, and I've got my key light coming from the other. So there's a lot going on, a lot of colors, but it was all along the blues and the purple sort of color grading. So let's get in there. Let's have a look. Let's see what we can sort out. So the first thing is, because it's a softbox, there's the odd little bit on the background where the material on the softbox is kind of drooping. So I'm just going around clearing that up. Got a couple of hairs here. Not hairs. They're threads. A couple of threads. I'm going to delete that. Use Content Aware and just clear that up. Scan run. I'm going to sort these hairs out here. I'm going to sort these hairs out here. I did what I could at the end of a shoot. I did everything in my power, but it just it was late. So let's have a look, and I'm going to clear these bits up here. Okay, so I've got a couple of threads. I'm just going around on the odd one and hitting the delete button and then hitting Content Aware. And that's why I can do it so quickly, where I can just scan around and let it find as many of these threads for me as possible. You get used to what area to select and what you can get away with very quickly. So you'll see there's certain bits here that it's changing the image, but I can make quite a quick decision as to whether it matters or not. No one's going to know there wasn't an extra sort of petal coming out back there. So you guys do now, so you can keep the secret. But we're just going through fixing a few of those. Now I've got the hairs down here to sort out. This nice big long one is easy. I can just patch tool the big areas like this, quite simple. On there, there's one hair coming over the ear, which is just rude, really. Let's sort that out. There we go. So now we've got these bits here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate my layer, and I'm going to get my clone stamp, select over here, make my brush bigger, and just go at it and go crazy. Why am I doing it that way and not being careful and going around? Because now I've done it, it's smooth, it matches my background. I can hit the mask button, invert it, grab a brush, and I can now do it much more carefully without having to worry about where it's cloning from. I just find it's a nice, simple, quicker way of using the clone stamp when you're doing background work like this. Now, yep, you can try and generative fill stuff like this if you want to, but when I can, I do like to do things manually. Let's bring that up there. Perfect. See, that took no time at all. Nice and clean. Now let's do that the other side. So we're going to drag these bits off from here. Get these ones. And I'm not as offended by like this bit up here. It was more the odd hairs that are sticking out, because I don't want it to not have hair. I want it to have hair. I just wanted to sort of neaten up my attempt at making the hair nice and neat. So let's grab my clone stamp and just go into it like that. That was only a little bit, so I really didn't need another layer. Cool. Happy with that. So these hairs on here, I did my best. I'm not a hairstylist. I always say I can make your hair look great from like one angle. Can't do anything else. I can only style it for a photograph. And without having any hairsprays or anything, this is what I could do. It's not that bad, to be fair. It's just not as good as if a professional did it. So let's drag these. All I'm doing is using the patch tool and a mixture of Content Aware and just using the patch tool to drag around and move those hairs. Again, not removing them all. No intention to remove them all. Just getting rid of the ones that are annoying. We'll come back to these. and just sort of clearing down a little bit. Now this bit here, if I want, I can grab that whole section now and generative fill that. Because that's an area that, yeah, all right, it can probably do it quicker than me. I can go in there and clean it, but it might give me a better option. It might add a bird or some weird thing in there, because it does that sometimes. It'd probably stick a flower on her head, because robots are stupid. So let's see what it does. Come on, so close. It's always that last bit. I swear it just zooms through the rest. There you go in. The suspense. Really, it's taking the mic now. What do you reckon? Is it going to do it? Is it going to be successful? We're going to have a flower head. Anything could happen at this point. Yeah. No. Better, but no. Okay, I vote didn't do that very well. It was very pixelated and horrible. If you want a job doing, do it yourself. So let's come with that. Probably a lot of these generative fills are fine if all you're doing is images that are like maybe for social media or, not getting blown up. But all my images are designed and are very likely to get printed big. If they're getting printed big, we can't have pixels doing weird things and looking odd. We've got to make sure that when it's blown up big, we don't have any errors. We've got to make sure that we are showing our work to the best of our ability. Which is very hard when the only person checking your work is you. It's so easy, human error, to make mistakes. But that's why I always say it is worth having the best workflow you can, where rather than rushing through everything, make sure you've got everything as good as possible. Come back to it, check it another day, have another look, and see if you can find anything else. But set yourself some boundaries, because quite honestly, you could open the same image every single day, find another thing to edit on it, and you'll just drive yourself slowly insane. So let's move on here. I've just got a few bits of mascara under the eyes. That's all I'm content wearing right now. I'm removing a couple of hairs under the brow. I wouldn't normally do this, but because in this sort of lighting, you kind of notice it. That's the only reason I'm sort of playing around with the brows a little bit. Okay, so I just want to soften the bag under the eye. So I'm going to duplicate my layer and put it on 50% and just patch tool that away. But because it's on 50%, it's just softening a little bit rather than completely removing, because it's just shadowed where the other light is kind of catching it. And I'm going to stick my skin edit on the top now. Now you guys have probably seen this edit 1,000 times, so I'm sure you can find it if you want it, but save me teaching you all the same thing every single time I do a video. I've just got it on here, and that is just smoothing out that skin. Lovely. I've said it before with my flower bomb images, I don't mind the skin being a little bit too soft when I'm doing this type of work, because that painterly kind of effect is part of the look. It's part of what we want. It's there for a reason. But normally I would be reducing the softness a little bit more. Now, remember, whenever you do a skin edit on face, carry it on to any other skin you can see, because otherwise it just looks odd. Right, there we go. Beautiful. Loving that. That's something looking so neat with all the hairs and everything. Perfect. Okay, so I want to contour a little bit. I'm going to duplicate my layer. No, I'm not. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to hit soft light. I'm going to tick the box for 50% grey, and we're going to use our dodge and our burn, and we're going to style it out a little bit. So I'm going to tap just in here, going across the cheekbone highlight, and I'm literally following the light that is already on this image. We are enhancing what already exists. I am not relighting. We are photographers. We do it right in camera as much as we can, of course, and we will then enhance that afterwards. I get loads of arguments on that one of, we can edit these days, so why not edit? Just do it right properly. Do it the first time. So let's come around on here, and I'm going to contour along that collarbone. I've got a little bit to remove there. How on earth did I miss that? So see, human error. I've been doing this for years and still missed something obvious. Perfect. Okay, so let's turn the contour off so we can see what we've drawn, which is always creepy. And let's turn that on and off. And you can see the difference that makes. Adds a bit of sheen. Now, I have no problem doing this when it's a fantasy style image. You definitely don't want to be contouring this heavy on like a normal portrait. You can turn the opacity down to wherever you want it to be to get it just about right. Kind of loving that. I think that looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, love it. Right, let's go down to here and remove that because apparently we're stupid and can't keep up with what it's doing. Awesome. Right, back to my contour layer. I'm looking at the flowers and I'm thinking I want to tone this bit down. I want to brighten this bit up. So I'm just tapping with my dodge tool in here and I'm burning down this little section here. I think we can change the color of that, you know. I just feel like it might be better a different color. Right, let's go Control Shift M and hit B and I don't know, grab a purple, whatever. And I'm just painting over it, amateur style. And then we're going to either go on darken or multiply. Either will work. You'll find multiply will work less often, but when it works really well. And darken will just grab into the shadows and you have to play with your opacity. You can do overlay and soft light and all the other things. You can do whatever you want to do. But usually when you're darkening it, you're going to be on these two. I'm going to go and multiply it and then take my opacity down like there. And then I can tone these bits in a bit. Awesome. Make those a bit richer. Yeah, love it. Okay, cool. That's looking really good. Now I might play with the color. Let's go on to that. Add selective color. I actually want to play with my blues. Now I think it's my cyans. It's these, but you never know sometimes. Yep, that's the cyans. Right, let's enhance the blues. Oh, cool. Let's enhance the blues a little bit. Been doing this a million years and still never remember which slider goes which way for what. You know, you just play with it. That's essentially what we all do. We just play with it a little bit and figure out where we're heading. Let's go over to the actual blues and see what happens there. Okay, the blues is affecting the background, which is purple, so who knows. But let's enhance that purple a little bit more. I mean, it's not rocket science that blue and red make purple, but still, you would imagine that to be way more in the like magentas, wouldn't you? On that, so let's go to the magentas. Just pretty much doing those flowers on the top of the background. This is just giving me that little bit extra control at the end. So if I turn that off and on, look at the difference. Incredible. Absolutely loving that. Right, let's go back to cyan. I want more here. Yes, that looks good. That looks really good. Right, I want to enhance the eyes now. So I'm going to grab an adjustment layer for levels, whack my midtones up, pull my shadows down, invert that mask, zoom into the eyes on a brush, and then just tap. And just gives me a richer eye on there. And do you know what? I'm going to take that pupil back out again just to make sure it's as matte as it was. So it's like realistic. Yeah, that's cool. Do you know what? Her eye color is gorgeous, but like part of me wants to make it blue or purple and make something that complements again. But nah, it's lovely. I love it. It looks really, really nice. I don't think I'm assessing. I'm like analyzing the image, figuring out if there's anything more I want to do. I don't think there is. I don't want a texture in the background. I like the simplicity. I like the lighting. I like the headpiece. We are definitely drawn to the face. I'm not distracted by anything else. I might enhance the blue a little bit. No, maybe not. The only thing I'm toying with is removing the earring. But I kind of like that one man-made element. I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to leave the earring. Controversial or not, we'll find out. But that's my edit. That's my I was going to say last flower bomb. It's probably not the last flower bomb that you guys are going to see. You'll be sick of it. But it's the last one I'm doing tonight because it's like almost 10 o'clock and I'm still in my studio editing because I have too much fun stuff to do. So that is the purple flower bomb. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys love it too. And yeah, I will catch you next time.